Hi, this is Christelle Martinet, and this is another scrying session. Today's the end of May 9th, so 9th, 10th, 11th. Let's see what the crystals are holding in store. I've got my own crystal back. It's wonderful to have it back. Let's start with this. Let's start with that. A couple of 2 days that passed. This is talking about the past couple of 2 days that you were, not challenged, but you were, take a walk on the wild side. You had someone say, take a walk on the wild side. Whoops, take a walk on the wild side. When something, it's me again. When something falls, I'll just shut the computer off and then turn it back on. Like I was saying, you've been seduced to take a walk on the wild side, and you just, Saturday and Sunday this last weekend, it was as if you just let yourself go a little bit. But what I'm seeing today, for those of you who could have, but what I'm seeing today is not a typical Monday that was just, that is coming to terms in many parts of the world and has finished for many of you. But a Monday that was sort of contemplative, you were in contemplation of what has occurred in the last couple of days. And I don't want to say take stock, because it's not really a matter of taking stock. As if you are today, the Monday, have accepted your fate. Terrible words that I'm saying. Not accepted your fate, but it's as if you have decided that what happened, and you're no longer in that position. Remember, I was saying, with one arm in front, you're in the here and now, and it seems that you're accepting that. You're very happy about doing that. And however, the day has come to an end this Monday, and what's in store is a sort of more of the same in terms of, let me see, what did I do? Where am I going? Now I've done this, come to this step. I went up to step number 5. I did well. I did some things that were different compared to the past. You start noticing a change in how you're acting, a change in your rituals, a change in the way you do things, very conscientiously. And it's as if you're trying to establish a new pattern. And it's interesting that, because you'll find that as the days progress, you're going to be adding another ingredient to that pattern and seeing how that will shift your day, as if it's making a conscious choice and turning your life around, turning your days around, turning the choices around, seeing what happens if you do something differently. And you're many of you, not all of us, but many of you. I hear these numbers, 45, 46, 48%. Do so with another person in mind, not a group, with 1, 2 tops people in mind with whom you would like to do that, or the changes are geared toward that person in some way. Perhaps you have to see them in the future and you want to look your best, so you decide to go, I don't know, you change your habits, you start eating, don't eat sweets or something. That's a really banal example, but I'm talking about things like this. Instead of spending all my money today, I'm going to save. I'm just going to pass up that other thing that I don't really need, and you start saving. So there are habits that are taking place, that are changing. In the next couple of days, they'll involve another person because you're going to take them into consideration in terms of the way you start doing things. And to me, it seems as if it were a language of love, in the sense that you're thinking of another person and you're starting to walk toward that person, and you want to do it in a controlled fashion, in the sense of you controlling yourself. It's like a dancer, you know, a ballet dancer who moves with grace and charm, and we don't see the effort. And you don't go overboard because you need that certain control so you can keep in balance. And well, this is the nature, the key word that I'm seeing here is balance, in order for you to bring to the table balance. And it's very, very pleasant. It's very light. You know, I feel the stone even is very, this is a citrine. It's very, very light in my hands as well. You know, as if they're you know, it's projected upwards. And you'll notice that as you choose to do something different and consciously think of another person or think of that person in relation to what you are doing. For example, if you want to knit a scarf for that person or something, and you think of them as you knit, you know, that's another silly example, but you know, little things on that level, on the everyday level. And I get the impression that it's being done more for a reason of trying to calm yourself down in relation to this moving, this love. It's as if, you know, everyone says pregnancy, birth of a child takes 9 months because it takes that much time for you to get used to the idea. And this is the same type of thing. You get together, you're slowly but surely walking towards someone, and those steps are very important. They're very delicate, and it's a way of preparing yourself, not for the worst. It's not arming yourself against for a battle. No, it's more. This time, it seems to me that you understand your role in things, and you can self-sabotage things very well. You know that, you're aware of that, and you're working against self-sabotaging, essentially, and that will have you feel a positive return. And you're worried, however, of a development that smacks of a maze. You know, you're going through a maze and you're afraid of those blocked doors that you can't, or whether you'll see a mirror and you're going to walk right through that mirror. You know, you're afraid of loopholes and traps, and so you know, you're trying to concentrate on the product, and concentrating on the product. Let's say knitting the scarf. The process also is developed. You know, it's two sides to the same coin. There's the process and the product, and the love and how you go and walk toward that is one and the same thing. You know, form and content is really inseparable. It's as if you were, you know, feeding your eyes. These days, it's as if you're giving your eyes a regimen or food for thought, in the sense that you want your eyes to be able to see something different, something clearer, something knitted, something very vivid, and you're feeding yourself in that sense. You want your eyes to see things clearly, so you drink a lot of liquids. You don't want to be heavy burdened down with sweets because you want your mind to be clear. You know, and it's interesting to see how there's all different areas of your life that are covered in this. You know, the diet, and then the studying and the movement and the walking. You know, taking long, slow walks because you really want to smell. You know, the things around you and the trees and the gardens, and you want to feel those moments because you want to sort of slow your body down to come to a moment when you're able to conscientiously sense with all of your senses and feel with all of your senses. But then again, like I said before, this seems to be in relation to a plan or a project or a desire that you have, I'm saying we all together have, to come closer to someone without screwing it up, okay, without messing it up. And or in not only not messing it up, even so that it will be successful. For those of you who are thinking in terms of partnerships and you don't want to be shortchanged, this is that type of exercise, I'm going to call it, or practice, as if it were a practice. It's a discipline action that you're enacting these days. And what's interesting is that I could remember now, it just came to my mind. I'm not sure if it was the last scrying session or the previous one yet, but there was, in one session I said, I'm seeing something I don't like. There's marked individualism distinction, one from another. I'm seeing this quite differently now. I'm seeing walking through walls as if it's there's a possibility there of actually being able to go across walls. Let me get a lighter. There you go. Going right across heavy, dense physical matter because you're starting to feel light. It's lightness. You're going toward lightness. And I'm not talking about lightness in the sense of losing weight, but the air-like quality of your existence seems to take on something. It's varied. It's changed. You are light. You can wrap yourself into a ball and then throw yourself out and then jump again and then come back again. It seems as if you're playing with the physicality, that you're playing with your physicality and seeing how your physicality can vary in relation to your thoughts and in relation to someone else, in relation to how you interact. I'm sure that many of you have thought sometimes when there's such a love so great, or when we were, when we don't think of those things, and when we're young and we're just starting to fall in love, and you think, oh my God, I would love to, I would love to go right across that person's body just to see how it would feel, and in like the movies that spirits go right through walls, and I'm seeing these types of images as if. You're actually contemplating crossing physical density. And it's possible, it's possible. Even without a little help from our friends, here you're possible. It's as if the next 2 or 3 days are going to bring you such power, personal power over your mind, in the sense of how you move about. It's control over movement. And it's actually such a change. All of a sudden, you're not on the thoughts. It's not on concentrating on the thoughts. You're thinking, but you're using your thoughts in a way that they're accompanying your movements and your physicality and how the physicality, how your physical nature becomes denser and lighter. And it's an interesting moment that we have that. We know that it's quite important that we have those 2-3 days that we're able to do that, because what I'm seeing up ahead is indeed a moment when you do interact. There is interaction, and it's as if you're premeditating interaction, you're visualizing interaction, you're imagining it, and and this quite likely will bring on interaction. It will bring on the possibility of naturally being. I can remember when I had my first child, the changed way of having the couple come in and with the father of the child, the companion together and imagining it. And a lot of when it was when I had my first. But the idea was visualizing to control the pain and control the effort and control the actual process. And of course I screwed it up. I mean, I didn't screw it up. I came out of after the first child, I thought to myself, I've got to have another. I got to try that control again, if anything, except trying to get that feeling of control without the pain. And in Italy, they don't quite naturally give epidurals, and so they're more geared toward the possibility of having natural childbirth. Of course, it depends where you go, but that is a norm, more or less. And this is the idea. You're visualizing as if you were manifesting, trying to manifest something, and you experience the manifestation, you experience the actual physicality of things materializing, and through this process of visualization. And I'd like to say that it's not done with words, but it actually, the thought patterns align with significance that we give to language. And I think the jury's still out as to the language and thoughts and how they align up. But I don't want to here open up a bone of contention concerning that. But I believe that the visualization process becomes rich in the measure in which you are able to cling it to an actual event that you wish to manifest in the future. And if that event takes on, is surrounded by language, that will be part of your visualization. You can do with your mind whatever you like. And so it is, I can see that it's a premeditative moment. There are 2-3 days where there is this exercising of controlling our physicality and seeing how, not controlling, and not in a negative sense, controlling in a sense that you are governing the process. You are sort of like that tape measure. I remember in one scrying session, you're taking the measurement. Well, this is different. It's not measurement per se. It's the sense of being porous, being airy, being denser, less dense, and how you can interact with things like this. Can you cross this amethyst? Can you cross this stone? Can you cross this? Can you feel like it becomes part of your arm, or part of your leg, or part of your foot? What does it? Can you feel the nature of this stone on you as being part of you? This sort of, your senses are being awakened, but still with that idea of coming together to someone. I still have that for whatever reason. A new job interview. You're seeing a person you haven't seen in a while. A simple date. There are a lot of moments of getting together with someone that means such an importance to you, of such importance to you, and the pitfalls that can occur, and it's more on this level without trying to control as much. I don't see the element of control as being strong here. It's the element of experimentation. That's it. I'm seeing this experimentation as if we were experimenting with, some form of meditation, and trying to visualize something that we don't know. But it's even less controlling than that. It seems just as a personal exercise, and to see how far you can push the envelope. What happens when you push the envelope, Well, let's see what happens these next 2 days, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Thank you for being with me. And thank you for your likes, your shares, and subscriptions. Bye-bye.